Hello guys, welcome back to Keeping It Real. Honestly, these days today I had watched Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the latest Marvel feature film, latest Marvel film that it has been released. Um, Honestly, it's really good. I'm not even joking. It is actually so good. Um, so this is gonna be spoilers. So if you guys haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie and then come and see it. If you're not planning on watching the movie, just watch the review on it, right? Okay. So basically, this movie is set after that of Chadwick Boseman, who basically plays Black Panther, and he died. And it starts off with a funeral about him and the life, and basically how the world progresses without him as the king. Obviously, his mother is sad and his sister is sad, and Shuri, and his mother's name is Ramonda, I think. Yeah, his mother's name is Ramonda, and they basically have both of them there. And then we're introduced to this new species of kind of like the underwater version of Wakanda, which is the Talokans, right? Then you have Namor, who is the king of all of them. Kul Klan, I think that's his name, but he say his enemies call him Namor or whatever nonsense, whatever that means. Okay, um, so you have Namor then, and then you also have the whole life of how Ramonda is basically ruling Wakanda, and how all the other countries are trying to reap the vibranium from um, Wakanda, right? And basically, this whole thing happens, and then basically there is this we're introduced to Riri Williams, who is also known as Ironheart, who played by Dominic Thorne. I'll put a picture somewhere here or somewhere, I don't know. So basically, she is this really genius who found out a way on how to detect vibranium in the water, and because she built that machine, and she is then the machine is then used to detect vibranium, and that is when we get introduced to Talokans, and Talokans are attacking humans for discovering vibranium. So basically, there's a huge war between the Talokans and the Wakandans because they were on this race to find Ironheart or Riri. I think I'm just gonna call it Riri Williams. Riri Williams. Riri. I just call it Riri, okay? So they're on this road to find Riri and to make sure that she does not escape. But then little did they know that that's not the case, because the Talokans are also there, and we introduce the Talokan fighters, and then there's also a backstory about how the Talokans were formed and all. uh, I'm not going to get into that detail and all, but all in all, the Talokans are basically people who also inhale the vibranium, the flower that T'Challa drank, and T'Chaka and Killmonger, how they all drank it to become the Black Panther. Them basically the Talorans last time they also had something like that, but when they all died and they came back alive as basically Atlanteans, technically Atlanteans. Seriously, Talokans are like Talokans are like the Atlanteans of Marvel. Okay, that makes sense, or with less amount of tech than Atlanteans. Okay, so basically there's a war between Talokans and Wakanda, and basically in that war, Angela Bassett, who plays Ramonda, dies. She dies, and that Shuri undergoes this great depression of things, and it was basically just crazy. And she goes through this great depression and things, and and she's like sad because her brother died, and then her mother died. Her father, I don't think she really cared. Her father died because her father is kind of ruthless. So um it was crazy on how she actually became Black Panther. She managed to recreate the seed, because if you guys remember in the first Black Panther, there's the orange purple herb which you're supposed to take to become the Black Panther. And when Killmonger was Black Panther, he basically destroyed everything. So at the whole time after the brother died, she was trying to find a cure to save him and all, and it they couldn't possibly do it. There was one thing though. I was taught that, because if you guys didn't know, like the voice of Darth Vader, I can't really remember his name. Star Wars had initially released that they had AI his voice or something like that. So what I had thought is maybe, they could have done some AI thing, maybe put his voice into his body, and there could be some sort of Chadwick Boseman in the movie. But I was pretty disappointed there wasn't, because yeah, because I really wanted to see that, but they didn't. So we then continue with Shuri, who then becomes the Black Panther, and she was filled with rage because she had lost all her family. And honestly,
One eternity later.
there's only two people in the whole MCU that know this kind of pain, which is Shuri and Thor. Thor lost all his family. Shuri also lost all her family. In fact, she almost lost Wakanda, the whole country, right? So there is this huge war amongst the two people, and the Talokans actually, which also played Namor, who's leading the Talokans, actually wanted to raise a war against the land people, because they kind of chased down the ancestors of Namor, of his mother, because the mother was human. After she drank the herb, she became the Talokans, whatever. And as I said, it's kind of like the Atlanteans of Marvel. The Atlanteans, King Orvok, Orville, I can't really count. Orville's not it, but King Orvok or something like that. He also wanted to wage war against humans. So it's basically like technically the Atlanteans of Marvel. So he wanted to wage war, and then there's a huge war between Wakanda and Talokans, as I said earlier. So they both were fighting on both sides, and Ashuri nearly wanted to kill him, because nearly wanted to strike him down and kill him, but she couldn't, because no, that's not her. Obviously, she's good, but she was blindly rage at the start. Also interesting to note is, when you drink the potion back in the Black Panther scene, Black Panther introduced to the ancestral land where you can see his father and all the past Black Panthers, even though his father is the first Black Panther. She, because she was filled with so much of rage and bloodthirst to kill, we actually saw Killmonger in this movie. Yes, we saw Michael B. Jordan come back as Killmonger. We saw him there, and he was just there in the throne, and we saw him instead of going to the realm. She saw him, and she was a bit pissed. She's like, oh no, why did I go to the realm and see my brother, my mother, and my dad? Obviously, eventually she saw him when she was about to kill Namor. She eventually went to the spirit realm. But the first time we actually saw Michael B. Jordan play come back as Killmonger, which was super sick and super interesting. It's so fun.
One eternity later.
So, and then there's finally a realization, and the Talokans, which is Namor, retreated because Shuri was about to kill him, and he surrendered. And basically, he still wants to wage a war with the surface world, but he said, "Oh, we're trying to get Wakanda to be an ally, and then we'll go after them." So it's gonna happen. It's gonna be another Black Panther movie that not very soon, I don't know when. And also, as I said earlier, this whole movie was set in the past of Chadwick Bose. I'm saying the past of when the Black Panther, like T'Challa, dies, right? Well, interesting to note is one thing is, T'Challa was like kind of the guardian and the safekeeper and had connections to the outside world. After he was gone, people, other countries coming in to try to steal vibranium from Wakanda, and basically the US and the other countries are planning on attacking Wakanda, and planning on attacking Wakanda to steal their resources. At some point in the future, that's going to happen. So uh, just going to be wait for that. The biggest thriller, Toussaint, is actually T'Challa's son. T'Challa had a son with Nakia had a son with Nakia. I think that's the name, right? That's the name. I have no idea. Yeah, she has a son. It is Nakia, right? Yeah, it's Nakia. It's Nakia. So basically, she has a son with T'Challa, which nobody knew about, which was crazy. And his name is Toussaint, but that's his name. That's his Haiti name, which is like some fake name. His real name is actually T'Challa, son of T'Challa. Know how that makes sense? T'Challa Junior maybe, but he says his name is T'Challa, son of T'Challa, which is nuts. So
One eternity later.
we're gonna see him come back to hopefully Wakanda. We are not sure, but hopefully he's gonna come back to Wakanda, and we're gonna see him. But yeah, that's pretty much sums it up the whole movie. I honestly was a huge fan of the movie. I only had the urge to see once because I was like, bro, there's so many plot twists. Are you sure it's within the time limit? And it's honestly, I think it's one of the longest running film for Marvel. 2 hours 46 minutes, almost 3 hours. Um, I movies. It's for me. Movie. It's a solid 8.5 out of 10 for me. I think they could have. I really wanted to see some sort of symbolism of Chadwick Boseman or something, but sadly we didn't. But I think close to a nine. Right? I think the movie is really good. It is really good for a sequel. Usually you see sequels are not good as the original, but honestly the sequel is super good. It's better than the original. It's classic on a little bit, right? So yeah, that's basically it for me. The movie was really good. I recommend you guys go watch it in your nearest cinema whenever. This review is probably gonna come on Sunday if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hopefully you go watch it in the weekend. Okay, if you're watching this, go watch it on the weekday. Okay, so that's all from me. I hope you guys enjoy. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to go watch Black Panther Wakanda Forever in your theaters right now. And I'm also going to be doing a vlog on my whole journey of like being outside, going to the mall, going to watch the movie and everything. You guys can check it out. The link in the description is in my vlog channel, Surya Vlog. So check it out below. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.